Hi, how are you? I hope you must have watched my previous presentation on medical toxicology, and I shall appreciate if you go through this second part of the popular lectures in toxicology. And this will be dealing with a different aspect, totally different aspect of veterinary toxicology. Veterinary toxicology is as good as the medical toxicology, but it is taught not in medical colleges but in veterinary colleges and veterinary universities. The pattern is the same. There they study the veterinary pharmacology and veterinary toxicology. What is the need and why people are studying veterinary toxicology, why it has been made a part of their curriculum, that is very important to understand. And the basic point is that the mechanism of toxicity of different drugs, chemicals, biotics is different in animals than in man. Different in rodents, different in cattle, different in horses, different in birds, and this difference depends upon their digestive system, or many of them are, it's like cattle, they are, when they monogastric, their digestive system is totally different. So the metabolic activity will be also different. So that is why the toxicologists have been talking separately this particular problem of medical veterinary toxicology. If we discuss this subject, we find that there are groups of animals, like there are bats, dogs, and cats. There are milching animals, milching cattle, cows, buffaloes, goats. There are horses, which are used as a farm animal, and there are birds, which are like poultry. So poultry people have their own problems. The horse breeding or stud farms, they have their own problems, and they are dealt by the veterinarian toxicologist or the pet poison center, or like this. So if we move systematically to understand this problem of veterinary toxicology, we shall go to the history, and we will find that in history itself, there has been cases like molybdenosis in cattle, in sheep, molybdenosis in goats, and similarly you find other cases in poultry. So there are well established reports in the literature dealing with different episodes that have occurred in the past, dealing with the veterinary toxicology. They resulted into something like the epidemics. The viral infection spreads in birds, the viral infection spreads in cattle, cows, viral infection spreads in horses, and that is to be dealt by the veterinary people, veterinary medicine people, or a veterinary toxicologist. If you allow me to move further with the problem of toxicology with the small animals like the dogs and cats. Many of us have dogs and cats in our house, and dogs and cats, they have got a very good property of searching. They keep on searching something, something, something. And if there is a farm and there is a dog, the dog is allowed to go throughout the farm, and dog may come across with many chemicals. And the first group of chemicals that dog or cat can come across, that is the pesticides, rodenticides, insecticides, herbicides. So this is the first group. The second group is the dog and cat may come across is the toxic metals. The third group that dog and cat may come across is the garbage. And the fourth one is that it may come across with plant poisons. It may come across with mushrooms, like this. So if we go to the first one, that is the herbicide or rodenticide, I can take some examples and discuss with you. And these examples are that there are many rodenticides which are used in a farm to kill the rat, the rabbit, the shrew, the raccoons, and they are used as a bait that a farmer throws in the farm, and somehow accidentally the dog goes there and the dog eats it up. So, what are these chemicals which are used as rodenticides? They are warfarin, a chemical which we call as warfarin. Warfarin, then we have got the another one, zinc phosphide. Zinc phosphide, then we have got another one, strychnine, and then we have got arsenic compounds, then we have got the thallium, then we have got the white phosphorus. These are some of the very common type of rodenticides used in a farm. And the most dangerous is zinc phosphide, and which is the most commonest rodenticide used in a farm. What it will do, zinc phosphide will go into the intestine, lead to the formation of the phosgene, and you know phosgene is a nerve gas. Phosgene is used to kill the people. It's a sort of war chemical. So that phosgene will be generated. Similarly, we have got strychnine. Strychnine is very common, and strychnine poisoning occurs in dogs. And it leads to the nervous system disorders, it leads to seizures, it leads to anoxia. And then there are certain anticoagulants like vitamin K factor. There is something like it leads to swollen limbs in the dogs. Then there are sodium fluoroacetate, highly toxic. Then there are certain calciferol compounds, quinetox. There are certain compounds known as red quill. There are certain compounds known as thallium, which is a general poison, and it binds with the sulfhydryl groups like other elements, you know that very well. We have got alpha naphthol thiourea, and it leads to edema. We have got white phosphorus. Leads to liver and kidney problems. So these are how the veterinarian treats the dogs and cats. The only method is the lavage. That is, the intestine is to be cleared. And the another method is using the activated charcoal. And the third method is using atropine. Some of these methods are applied to treat the animals. The second point, if we come across, that deals with the herbicides. And herbicides, you must be knowing, and I had been talking to you many times along with carbon tetrachloride. There is a herbicide which has been used very frequently, and that herbicide is paraquat. And how this paraquat affects the liver, you know very well. Paraquat hepatotoxicity is very well studied in the literature. And paraquat is a very commonly used herbicide, which are used to remove the unwanted grass. Then there is another one, triazine, and there is another one like chlorophenyl herbicides. Then there are chlorates, then there are glyphosate, then there are other chemicals. If we talk of the pesticides, or if we talk of the rodenticides, we come across with we talk of the pesticide poisoning in dogs and cats. Pesticide poisoning is very common in human beings, because many of these frustrated people, they eat sulfas and they die. So, if we discuss this problem of insecticides, we come across with organophosphate compounds, malathion, parathion. We come across with chlorinated compounds, aldrin, dialdrin, DDT. Many of them are not produced, but still their alternates are available, and by accident, dog or cat may eat that. And if the eating occurs, then what will happen? You know very well, they inhibit the acetylcholinesterase enzyme, and they lead to the deposition of the choline disturbance occurs, and the nervous system is disturbed. So it leads to many nervous problems, including the uh, convulsions, including the tremors, including the ataxia, including other problems related vomiting, and so on. So the problem of uh, pesticides is poisoning is very common in dogs and cats. The another group is the pyrethroids and carbamates. There are four basic groups of pesticides. You already know that. They are the organophosphate compounds, then the organochlorine compounds, then we have got the pyrethroids like pyrethrin, they come from plants. Then we have got this the carbamates like endosulfan and others. The mechanism of toxicity is totally different. The organophosphate compounds have got a different mechanism, and these pyrethroids and carbamates, they have got a different mechanism. The glucuronidation does not occur, and it leads to the poisoning in cats. We have got another very important issue, and that deals with the uh, household chemicals. Many times, if a dog and cat is there in the house, there are many household chemicals like ethylene glycol, like detergents, soaps, soaps, cans. So many times they eat the coins, and the coins are made up of lead, and they get contaminated by that. So there is ethylene glycol, there is glycolic acid, there are oxalates, there are that contributes to acidosis, metabolic acidosis. You must be knowing it, and these lead to acidosis. Oxalic acid leads to anemia. Oxalic acid poisoning leads to uremia. Detergents are corrosive in nature. They can just corrode the entire digestive system, or they can corrode the entire liver, leading to massive necrosis. Similarly, they can corrode the entire renal tissue, causing a severe damage to kidney. Phenols. Many times the phenols are being used. Naphthalene balls are eaten by dogs and cats. The phenols tablets are eaten up by dogs and cats. So phenol is so dangerous, corrosive. If you just touch the phenol on your skin, you will start feeling a strong burning sensation. So you can imagine now, if a dog and cat consumes even a small part of phenol, it is going to be poisoned. Then we have got another group of dangerous things which is known as garbage. And garbage contains a lot of different microbial populations. Garbage allows the microbial population to grow, and the dog or the cat, it can suffer from endotoxemia. You should know this word, endotoxins, right? When we talking principles of toxicology, we were talking there are not only chemical toxins, there are endotoxins. And these endotoxins, they lead to an issue, and that issue is endotoxemia. Endotoxemia is having a bacterial origin, and you know many bacteria. I have taught you during my discourse on plant poisons, the Clostridium, blue-green algae, Salmonella, then the Staphylococcus. All these, they lead to abdominal pain. They lead to anorexia. They lead to botulism. Botulism is again a very problem. In animals, even fluorosis, endemic fluorosis like man, the fluorosis has been observed in cattle in different parts of Rajasthan, different parts of Madhya Pradesh. Not only man is suffering from fluorosis, even the animals are also suffering from fluorosis. As far as the metals are concerned, we have got lead, arsenic, zinc. They affect the central nervous system. They affect the sulfahydryl groups. They lead to hair loss. They lead to abdominal pain. They lead to anorexia. As far as the plant and mushroom poisoning is occurs, I know very well there is a plant you must be knowing, rhododendron and amentia mushroom, amentia floridis. And then it leads to spasms, it leads to extensive salivation, it leads to pupil constriction. So these are some of the issues which are very relevant to this particular subject of veterinary toxicology. So we have just discussed the toxicological problem in dogs and cats. In the next presentation, you will listen to the veterinary toxicological problem in cattle. So go ahead, study well. I hope this presentation will help you understanding the subject of veterinary toxicology. Thank you.